Hello, everyone. I am Larry,
And I'm Kaylin.
and this is our first Cooking with the Diamonds.
Cooking with Diamonds, yeah.
Yeah, so bear with us, and on future Cooking with the Diamonds in our version of Ask Us Anything called Coffee with the Diamonds, we're going to try a Riverside so that it can be more interactive and it'll go live to YouTube and here.
So this is our first live
There we are. We're back.
And
we're going to expand the video. Fantastic. And we can actually see the comments. So do you want to tell folks about our live cooking demo history? It was really interesting.
Definitely. So we've first started our live cooking demos with the fasting method. You were a coach with them for 6 years, and
researcher, community facilitator,
all of that.
All that.
You were all the things. And so they suggested that Larry do a cooking demo, and I enjoy cooking, and it was a huge part of our success story. And so I wanted to be a part of it. And so we just started basically doing what we do most evenings, cooking together. But we just did it live, and it was great. It was on Zoom, and we had people interacting with us.
And the thing that I loved about it is that, you love being a teacher, but not every day is a great day. And no matter how.
What are you talking about? Everything's awesome.
And sometimes Kaylin would get in like a minute before, and I had done all the prep and mise en place,
I think that is
sous chef, and all that great stuff. And we experimented with whiteboards and chalkboards with the recipe.
I think what you're trying to say is that because we always
had a better time when you finished. Sorry, you were always in a better mood.
Yes,
the cooking actually was almost like therapy, wouldn't you say?
Yes, definitely. And we talk about that, right? Just layering activities, and when you're doing something mindfully and you're grateful for this, it becomes not a chore, but something to really rejoice in. Like meditative, I talked about chopping, being meditative, and
if you get the pounds.
Or if I get the pounds and garlic, that's right. If it was in the middle of the week, so sometimes I'd come straight in the door, drop off my stuff, and we would start. So, luckily we get to choose the day we do these live cooking demos.
And the time. And it might not always be Central 4 p.m.
Yeah.
But it's a good Sunday. And we love, I would say, cooking on the weekends extra special because there's a bit more time. So it's easier to enjoy the process.
Yes.
Be more relaxed.
Yes. I would agree. But this is something what we're doing today is something that you could definitely do during the week. Yeah,
absolutely.
He's awesome in that he does most of the cooking during the week because he's working from home, and then I do some of the cooking on the weekend. During the summer, more of the cooking during the week and on the weekend. And this is something you could do every day.
And when you get your groove on for batch cooking, I love saying that batch cooking is cook one time, eat multiple times.
Yep.
And, we're not great at it, but over the years, if I'm doing chili, I'll do 3 pounds of meat instead of 2 pounds, or 2 pounds instead of 1 pound.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these chicken tenders are actually going to be healthy chicken tenders. I don't think they lend themselves to batch cooking because they're best eaten fresh.
Yeah, they are.
And hot.
Still, maybe the next day.
But the coleslaw, you could do a double batch easy.
Definitely, yeah. And we'll talk about that more because our kiddo loves this coleslaw, and she will eat it. She'll make that her only meal sometimes.
I don't like wearing my glasses on camera. So if you see me going towards what I notice, I don't know if we have people here, but in our fasting method live cooking demos, it would be on Zoom. So it'd be a bit more interactive. People could raise their hands. We want to replicate that on Riverside. But the chat was always very active. So if you guys do come in here, tell us where you're from, some of your meals. I was going to say the one thing also that I loved about the TFM is we're grain free. So we were never going to do a recipe with grains because then we couldn't sample it and it would have been inauthentic. But we did hundreds of these recipes, and I'd say 95% were awesome.
Yeah.
We had an occasional,
but
literally out of 100, 95 were great. And they were all grain-free, all healthy, all delicious. I'm saying the 95 were delicious. A few misses here and there.
Avocado pumpkin mousse.
No, it didn't.
No, it didn't work. But let's talk about what did work. So tonight we are doing chicken tenders, like Larry said.
Here?
I think we have a couple. I'm having a harder time seeing, but this is also
leave a comment if you're here.
Yeah, if you're here, please leave a comment. We would love to know who's here, seeing us live. Hello. If you want to introduce yourself and tell us where you are watching from. One of my favorite things with the cooking demo with the fasting method was there are people from all over the world.
All over the world.
Yeah.
Some people staying up past midnight.
Yeah, definitely.
So we had people from Scotland.
I know. So back to what we're doing tonight. Okay, chicken tenders. We, first of all, you want, when we talk about healing with food, one of the biggest things we want to talk about is food quality, right? And so when we start, when we're doing chicken, that's even more important because the way most chicken is raised now is not the best. So we do start with pastured chicken, not pasteurized, but pastured chicken. This is one we have at our market.
Yeah, and even this one's not great. And sorry, but you're so right on. Yeah.
Right.
So, and often Kaylin, great cook. I'm a very good cook. Kaylin's a great cook, and I would supply the science. So both pork and chicken, pigs and chickens have one stomach. They're monogastric like we are. So this is very simple but important science. Also, people don't know this. Even grain-finished cows spend a lot of their life on pasture. Not all their lives, or they wouldn't be grain-finished, but they have multiple stomachs. So when they look at the fat composition of all beef, even grain-finished beef is low in the inflammatory seed oil fat called linoleic acid. That is sadly not the case for the fat for most chicken and pigs. And sadly, many of them are confined their entire lives and fed grains their entire lives. So sadly, the fat, and you have to be mindful of this, don't be totally scared of it. It's not fear, it's awareness. So they're food awareness, not food fear. But chicken and pork fat can have about the same composition of the inflammatory linoleic acid as canola oil, believe it or not, upwards of 20%. Even grain-finished beef, it's about 3% at the most. So if I'm at a restaurant, I'm almost always ordering beef. If I'm going to have chicken and pork and I don't know the source, I'm going to have mostly things like chicken tenders that are very fat-free, and we'll get the fat somewhere else. Who do you see in the comments?
They're our person from Scotland. It's
Mark. Oh no! See, that's how our universe works. So great to see you. I was mentioning.
Yeah,
that's who I was thinking about in Scotland. I don't know if you. Hey, Mark. I don't know if you heard me. I was thinking about you, and then you showed up.
It just manifested.
I'm just somebody in your dream of reality. I don't know how that works.
Okay,
how amazing.
So super amazing. So we're talking about better quality chicken.
Nice to see you.
And then because we're grain free, we want to talk about a coating, right? The coating. And so we personally like pork rinds, and crushed pork rinds are one of our favorite.
They're a little indulgent it's gone up a bit in price. So I would say this is probably, I bought it today. So it was sadly $9, used to be $7. And you'll get about 4 rounds of an egg wash pork rind coating. And just so you guys know, you can use beef cutlets.
Oh, yeah.
And it comes out amazing. It's the same exact
something
technique.
we do in the South.
Same exact
chicken
technique.
fried steak. So this is something that you could use for chicken fried steak. If you're not a fan of pork rinds, that's okay. You could use almond flour as well.
We were going to show
that almond flour.
Unblanched almond flour. I would say that we did this for years, and it will have oxalates, almonds. We're not particularly sensitive to oxalates, but you do want to be mindful of going grain-free, having too many almonds in your life, like almond flour, almond milk, almond.
Right.
That will be probably oxalate overload for a lot of people. Yeah.
All right. So our coating is going to consist of some pasture-raised eggs. So same idea with the chicken. We're taking that idea to eggs. And some people might say, hey, I noticed those aren't organic. Well, we don't get organic eggs because
we found.
Right.
Yeah. So what I think's going on, Vital Farms, we love Vital Farms, but it costs so much money to get the organic certification. I think those are bigger farms, and they're not necessarily bad. But I think Vital Farms non-organics are sourced from more like backyard type operations, or people that might have, an acre of land and not 10 acres of land. They can't afford organic certification.
And what do we know about chickens? Chickens are omnivores, right? They're eating grains, they're eating grasses and bugs, right? So it's really hard to control that organic environment when you're having them truly pastured, right?
So long story short, the non-organic are consistently darker orange.
Yeah.
So, and usually a little bit less. So it's a win-win. So I'm going to do and
a little raw milk to add to the coating. So we have a great place, Ash Acres here in Central Texas.
They're out of Belton.
Yeah, that we get our raw milk.
They come to Round Rock, and it's really good. Thank you guys, everyone advocating for raw dairy, just for choice. You want pastured dairy, that's never, anywhere on planet Earth. But you know what? Us folks that have done the research and want raw dairy, nobody's standing in our way. That is absurd. Any entity restricting access to raw dairy is a bad entity. And I will say that.
All right. Okay. Well, let's go on. As you can see, very passionate about food. Very passionate about food. So he's going to start.
Freedom.
Yes,
freedom.
Exactly. Free. I love that. All right. Can you start with?
I won't let you down.
I know you won't. I know. How about we start with the eggs?
So we're going to do an egg wash. And I was doing egg washes. You can do it in heavy cream. You can do it with half and half. Also, if you are dairy free, because eggs are not dairy. I know we think of eggs as dairy, but they're not. I've tried it out. It works just fine. Extra virgin olive oil. Did you know that?
I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah, you don't need dairy for an egg wash.
Okay.
So this is my cooking. I'm just going to add a splash of milk. And we have a pound of, right on the dot, a pound of chicken tenders. It really only needs one egg, but we have 3 dogs. I might do.
Keep the extras to the dogs.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do, we're going to add 2 eggs.
Oh, look at that beautiful orange.
You see? Oh, it's really hard to say. Yeah.
Beautiful. Oh.
He just poured some egg in my coleslaw.
It's going to be just not enough dairy. Yeah. It was more than milk.
So we're going to mix this up, and then Larry's going to dip these chicken tenders in the egg mixture first.
We're doing a cooking. That was funny.
And remind me, do you season your chicken tenders before you dip them?
I do. So I found actually, and you don't need a whisk. You just need a fork, and all you do is put the fork, and I'm going to try it. And there you go. And now it's mixed. And that's just a splash of the raw milk and 2 eggs. and it's whole eggs. It's not the egg yolk. So even simpler. What I found, ironic that you mentioned that, I found that there's more seasoning left over if you season the egg wash.
Oh,
So I've been, you know what, why don't I do that in the bowl? So good old sea salt. Remember, sea salt is the way to go. We love real salt. So I can't tell you how much.
I think that's good.
Yeah, just.
We love salt. That's a good amount of salt there.
Then good old pepper. And then I'm going to add one other thing. So my rule of thumb when cooking is like grinding or shaking out salt or grinding pepper, get to where you think it's right, and then do 2 more shakes or 2 more grinds.
Okay.
And then
so scientific right there.
Yeah, so this is one of our favorites. It's $7.95 currently on Amazon. It's Nom Nom Paleo's magic mushroom powder.
Hey, if anyone knows Nom Nom Paleo, just tell her Diamond say hi, because we do a lot of her recipes. She's so awesome.
Now, be mindful it has a little more salt, but honestly, because the pork rind coating, I'm not putting any seasonings in. It's not impossible, but it's almost impossible to over season. Almost.
All right, so we got our chicken tenders, and what Larry's going to do is we lay it on a plate that has a little lip on it, and then we put the panko breadcrumbs on another plate. You're going to dip both sides of the chicken tender in the egg wash, and then the panko breadcrumbs or panko crumbs that are made of pork rinds, and then we put those, and we're frying them in olive oil. You can do coconut oil as well.
You can do, olive oil is actually a great cooking oil, as long as you get actual extra virgin olive oil. And I know how real extra virgin olive oil tastes and performs. And it is good advice to get a single source olive oil, but the Costco organic olive oil, even though it's multiple sources, it's real olive oil. And it performs very well on stovetop cooking at almost all temps because the polyphenols prevent it from creating HNEs. HNEs are going to be the harmful byproducts. So when I started my journey, I thought olive oil was only for salads, but turns out as long as it's extra virgin real olive oil. So really we're kind of done. You're going to see me in the background.
We're not done. We're done with this part.
Yes.
And I want to bring out, so the part of our healing journey that really helped me start and continue with the healing is that I had Larry here continually sharing what he was learning, sharing the science around nutrition and how we have been fed a lot of basically lies, misinformation. And so that information helped me start my journey and then day to day continue my journey. And that's what we intend to do with Healing with the Diamonds. Larry just consumes information about nutrition and revises that based on newer information. He's not stuck in any dogma. He doesn't follow any. He learns from everyone, follows no one. And that's what I love, that I know.
You know my saying.
I do. But we were able to get healthy without a program, without like products. It was just real food and knowing the information.
And the word knowledge comes from that. And I've heard knowledge is the new doping. And so there was a Tour de France team that found out about fat adaptation, and they had like a 3-time Tour de France. And one of their riders was like, we don't dope here or anything, but knowledge is the new dope. So they were winning that. Yeah,
they were fat adapted.
They were fat adapted.
Right? And if you want to know more about being fat adapted, know more about how we did this, for anybody here who's not familiar with our story, 120-pound weight loss, 70-pound weight loss. We've kept it off for over 10 years. and we are healthier because of it. And it's not just about weight. It's
ton healthier.
well, but it's not just weight loss. It's metabolic health. If you look at our numbers, our blood work, they're better than most 60 and 56
oh
year
my
olds.
gosh, my wife's modest. Her last blood work that I know, her HDL was in the 90s, triglycerides were in the 40s, and her fasting insulin was 2.7. That I mean, that's literally like probably 1 out of 100,000
So
people.
if you want to know how to do something like that, please go over to healingwiththediamonds.com. We have a newsletter, we have a blog. You can, if you're so led, you can sign up for consultations as well. And
that's going well. You see how much fun I'm having?
Yeah, it's already consulting. So, and if you know anybody who you think might benefit from this, there's a lot of free information too. Like most of it is, right?
But the feedback from the consults is that it's just so helpful. Interacting with me, and we're using a AI note taker, so it creates great notes. And we have single consults and 3-packs, but the 3-packs, we decided, and you can work with me, Kaylin, or both of us, that there are weekly check-ins in between. So people are spacing out the 3-pack like a month apart. So but then weekly check-ins, and we're going to cover a lot of ground. And
back to the cooking. I just wanted to give that little shout out for our website, and please spread the word if you know anyone who you think could benefit from this information. I did turn it down. Okay, so he's going to start coating these and put them in the pan, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about our side dish, our coleslaw that we're doing. And as he's frying them, we'll show you the finished product as well. We're not going to be moving the computer or the camera, because if you are familiar with the past cooking demos on the fasting method, every time we tried to move it to show you a closer look.
And you might see me move. We have 3 dogs, so
that's another thing with these lives. We have 3 dogs and a teenager, and so anything could happen. But that's what a real family does here, right? You're trying to cook amidst all the motion, right? All of life, and we were able to do it. We started when we had a toddler, just as active, but in a different way, right? Okay. So next is our coleslaw dressing. I love purple cabbage. I have done most of our purple cabbage here. I sliced it using a mandolin slicer. I like the uniformity of the slicing. I like how thin I can get it. So that's why I use it. The one we have is called Mueller. It does a great job. Easy to clean.
I would suggest that as the one to get.
Yes, definitely.
We
don't get any kickbacks. But
point out one quick thing. I often don't do the amount of pork rinds I'm going to need, and I just refill the plate so I don't waste. Yeah. And it's just the way it is.
All right. So if you've never used a mandolin slicer, I highly suggest, first of all, being careful. Second of all, maybe there are protective gloves you can get so you don't add a little sliced fingertips to your meal. You take it super easy. Just slice it super quick. And then you see, look, all that yummy, very nicely, uniformly sliced cabbage right there. And it was a smaller head of cabbage. I went ahead, we're doing pretty much the whole cabbage. Like I said before, our kiddo really enjoys the coleslaw, so I always try to make extra when we do this.
And one of the diamond dogs is here.
Yes, you might see one of the dogs passing by.
Puppy cam.
No, we're not doing puppy cam because we don't want the camera to go off. All right, next is the dressing for the coleslaw. So there's lots of different coleslaw dressings out there. They can be very involved. This is one that I've just kind of taken from different recipes and then changed them to make it what our family likes. You will see most coleslaw dressings, you have mayo as the base, And same for
Sorry.
us. We're Larry's trying to look and see what's going on. Okay.
4 viewers. Yay.
All right, 4 viewers. All right, off the races, aren't we? So we use chosen mayo. We also Primal Kitchen was one we used as well. Why are you
Sorry.
laughing?
You know that person Ernest or somebody like getting up. Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh boy,
never mind.
you're dating yourself,
Yeah.
my love. Okay, so we're going to use this, and back to food quality. When you're choosing your mayo, you're going to want to make sure it does not have any seed oils in it. So this chosen mayo has avocado oil, and just make sure, read the ingredients. You can also make your own mayo.
Which we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
And you get more control over the quality, and you'll save a lot of money. And once you master, immersion, and there's tips and tricks, it's just the way to go to make your own. I have heard that, avocado oil sometimes isn't, but Chosen is a well-regarded company.
Okay, so
Do you want to
the
explain
most-
why I got this out? Sorry.
in a little bit, I'm in
Okay.
the middle of
Sorry.
my dressing right now. Okay, most mayo or coleslaw dressings just kind of stop with mayo. And I've seen some that do sour cream. I've tried it, don't like it as much. I really like yogurt. So I do a 2-to-1 ratio of mayo to yogurt. So today I'm going to start with a 1/2 cup of mayo and then a 1/4 cup of yogurt. I like the tartness from the yogurt. And, if you've made coleslaw before, they also call for some acid. Apple cider vinegar is one of my favorites, but I don't like as much of it in my coleslaw. So
Who is that?
I use the yogurt
Yeah.
to add to the tartness of the dressing, but then, so then I'm not using as much.
And we personally, this must have, I don't know where Kaylin got this, but we're no longer buying bread.
That was bought
Yeah.
before they changed.
Yes. Oh,
Right,
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
we've had that for a while.
Yeah. So we'll buy natural grocers apple cider vinegar.
Yeah, no, we've had that for. And the good thing about
Yeah.
apple cider vinegar,
Vinegar is a preservative.
it does not go bad. All right, so when I do this, I'm going to just use a tablespoon of the apple cider vinegar because I'm using that Greek yogurt that also gives it some tartness, as well as salt and pepper, a good sea salt, a good pepper, and let's see. Oh, a lot of recipes call for maybe celery seed or something, another herb. I personally like dill. Dill's my favorite way, and so I have some of our dill, and this is from Natural Grocers. Natural Grocers has great prices on both herbs. Great way to save money if you are looking to do that. And then we just store them in the freezer. Okay, so like I said, 2-to-1 with the mayo. I'm going to do a 1/2 cup of mayo and a 1/4 cup of yogurt. And I'm going to see how that goes. We like a creamier coleslaw in our family. If I need to make a little bit more, I'll go ahead and do that. And then 1 tablespoon of the apple cider vinegar. Like I said, I probably will do 1 tablespoon to 1.5 tablespoons of dill because I like it so much. And then the next thing, and this is to your taste. A lot of dressings will call for sugar. We don't use sugar, but we will put some maple syrup. And if you're not into it, if you're really watching those your sugar intake or your carbs, you could leave it out. It's just as delicious. We do it because it's something that our daughter enjoys, right? And we are able in our journey to tolerate the syrup. And it's like a tablespoon of maple syrup for the whole batch. All right, so I got my yogurt, my mayo there, getting my yogurt here.
So I was making sure they all got to 165. You want to show them
Okay.
how they look?
So these are the chicken tenders right there. And
looking amazing.
and he used a meat thermometer to make sure that those got to 165, that internal temperature for the chicken, to make sure it's safe. And can you take that back, love? Or
yes.
I'll do it.
No,
Got
I
it?
can.
Okay. All right. So we got our yogurt and our mayo. I'm going to add that tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. And then that tablespoon, maybe a tablespoon and a half of dried dill. I like it with celery seeds also. It's a little different flavor. It's probably more traditional, but the dill I think is super fresh, and we have a lot of dill right now. So that's why I'm using it.
Oh, and can you just let him know that it's, if we didn't explicitly say this, it's dredging in the egg wash.
I think I did say that, yeah. So egg wash first for the tenders, and then to the pork rind crumbs. All right, so I have that right there. Doing my dill. And we have one of our cups here. I think a tablespoon is good. Oh, she's ready. She's watching Larry like a hawk. Like, oh, I'm really hoping some of those chicken tenders fall off the plate.
Oh, she's giving me her.
She's giving her
best,
you the look, right?
the look that usually gets food 99% of the time.
Yeah, he is the worst at giving our animals food. Our daughter's the best. She won't do it. She knows how spoiled they can get. All right, so I'm doing some fresh cracked pepper and a little salt. About, it says a half a teaspoon. I'd probably do more like a teaspoon. I'm not afraid of salt. That's another thing you can learn too. If you've been taught that salt is bad, no, it is not, and we can tell you why.
Right, and then remember, when we become less insulin resistant, when insulin levels go down, we actually release salt. So one of the big mistakes people can get is going low salt, low carb, high fat. They're overcoming their insulin resistance, but then they need more salt because they're
science, cooking science. I know a smidgen of all the science, but Larry is on this row. I know. Okay, I do know. He can put it in a different way. If I'm just talking to you one-on-one, I'm way better at it. All right, so we did our maple syrup as well, and I told you why about that. And then get that all mixed together. Now, for your veg here, we're just doing red cabbage, but you could put some shredded carrot in there. Sometimes I'll add spring onions or green onions or scallions.
Do you add pine nuts sometimes?
No, sometimes I'll do sesame seeds to finish it off.
Right.
Our kiddo, she's gone through like I don't like nuts phase, I don't like seeds phase. So I usually then just leave that out, and we can, finish that at the table if we want. All right, so here we go. Here is our yummy creamy dressing, and do just a little taste. It's awesome. It's tart, but not too tart. The yogurt, I really feel that yogurt, it gives it a depth of flavor that a lot of coleslaws don't have, I think. All right, here we go.
Do you want to explain what you learned about the not ideal low fat, but why it's not that bad with yogurt?
Oh, yeah. I was giving Larry crap the other day because
they didn't have our usual A2 yogurt.
Yeah, they didn't have our usual A2 yogurt at Costco. And I noticed the Costco that he bought was fat-free. And I was like,
low fat.
No, it's not that. And I was like, what's the deal with that? Non-fat? We don't do non-fat in our family. And I learned that with yogurt, it's okay. It's not perfect, but it's okay to do non-fat in a pinch because it's still going to have a really good protein to carb ratio. So I learned something new.
Or it can if it doesn't have additives.
Right, and that's another one. And I think a lot of people are now, especially if you're being more mindful about what you put in your body, to read labels, right? We know that we don't want to put things in our body that we can't pronounce.
We don't want
yeah. We don't want what?
Dannon.
Oh, Dannon yogurt. Yeah. Like, yeah, if you can find it at Walmart, that's probably not the yogurt
Well, you never know. They have some good
Sorry.
products.
Okay. Anyway, we find ours at Costco or we have another nice little market called Natural Grocers.
Oh, we used to buy Aller, and then they stopped carrying the yogurt we love.
Okay, so I'm giving this a good mix. Now you can make this ahead of time. It's better as it sits, and then if you're thinking about for the week and kind of planning out your meals for the week, make this on Sunday. Let it sit, and depending on how many in your family and how much they like it, it might last a few days, and it will keep a few days in your fridge as long as it's in an airtight container. All right. All right, I think we've got 4 views. I don't know how many people are actually watching now, but we really appreciate you if you're here. And if I know Morag was here, I don't know if you're still here, Morag, but anyone else who wants to leave a comment and let us know where you're from.
Or watching it on replay, telling us where you're from.
Yeah, definitely if you're watching it on replay. We would love to hear where you're from and also thoughts on the recipe. What did you like about it? What have you done differently that has worked for you? Because one of the things I would say in the cooking demos with the fasting method is most of the time I learned lots from those of you who are sharing. And I learned so many things that way as well. And we are lifelong learners. That's the way we feel when we realized that we didn't have all the answers, and it was okay for when given new information to change the way we did things.
You want to show them this for a little bit, and then we can sign off so it's not too ultra long.
There is our finished coleslaw, super simple. And here are our finished.
Look at that. They're gonna.
All right, and so there we go. That's dinner. So even with all the toppings, we
37 minutes.
37 minutes, very doable for a busy family, and yeah. So that's our first cooking demo. We hope that you enjoyed it. We hope you share with friends and family you think might like this.
And I think at least on Facebook, and also we're going to post this on YouTube, and I'll look at any of the comments on YouTube, but we'll see any comments of anyone watching this on replay.
Oh, yeah.
So please, we would always at the TFM live cooking demos ask people where they're from and what they were cooking that night.
Oh yeah. So if you're watching this and you are cooking your own meal, let us know what you are cooking. And I would always get inspiration from that, definitely. And it's just fun to share. Oh, Puff Cam, we got a Puff Cam up here. That's cheerful. She's our youngest and spiciest dog, definitely. All right, thank you everyone for being here. We very much appreciate you.
Check out our website. Whoa, consulting. Oh, they're beautiful. They're going to be so yummy.
They're going to be delicious. And we look forward to seeing you again. And we're
check out our Instagram. Check out our 4 podcasts. So Sam Feltham, Dan Azadi. This coming week, Dr. Stephen Hussey, amazing. And then after that, believe it, the amazing Naisha Winters.
Anyone touched by cancer? It is like I got chills. It's a very powerful podcast. Lots on what we can do each day to lessen our chances of having to deal with that terrible disease, understanding the disease.
And we fortunately don't have cancer, but we both read her book called The Metabolic Approach to Cancer, and she made a very good point. It really should be called The Metabolic Approach to Life.
Yeah, definitely.
So, if you're lucky enough to not have been touched by cancer, you can still. What was the
Marag said that she's made the chicken tenders before and she needs to do them again. We'll also add your coleslaw. Thank you, Marag. We are so happy that you were here. It feels just right to have one of the OG people here.
And not knowing you were going to show up, the one person I mentioned, Scotland, and you showed up. So that yay.
Okay. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much. We will be letting you know when our next cooking live demo is.
And hopefully more interactive. I'm going to let you, end the video. Be sure that you share it.
Okay, I'm going to end the live video. Bye, everybody. Okay, I'm trying to.
I cannot be right over there.
I can't find. Oh, there's the mouse. There we go. Nope, it disappeared. There you go. And it says end. Yep.